My friends, welcome to this episode of the Outdoor Gear Review. I hope you all are doing well. What I have here, everyone, is one of the most interesting large size tents that I've ever seen. This is a hybrid, meaning it was designed for warm weather and also cold weather. On the inside, we have a mesh inner that is going to be fantastic for hot summertime conditions. At the same time, when it comes to the fly, we have a stove jack so that you can use this tent in cold weather. What really sets this tent apart, besides those two features, is the size. This tent is gigantic. The inner is actually large enough for 6 people inside of it. Oftentimes when you have a 6-person tent, the inner is quite small. Big enough for 2, big enough for 4, but not 6. This tent actually has an inner that's that big. In addition to the inner, you have a full living area. Folks, this tent is wild, and that's what this episode is all about. This is the NatureHike Kota 6-person tent, K-O-T-A. And everyone, I'm excited to show it off to you all now. To start, let's focus on the fly and the outside of the tent. So we have one door here with a mesh panel. We have another door with a mesh panel on the other side. Up here at the top, we have the stove jack. That way you can have a wood stove inside of this if you want to. Right here we have a vent that you can open and also close. And right here we have a ventilation panel. With the ventilation panel rolled up, you can get ventilation on the inside of this tent, directly into that inner. You have the exact same feature on the other side of the tent. With this tent being a hybrid of sorts, designed for warm weather and also cool weather, the fly does go all the way down to the ground, but it does pull out at certain sections, which is going to benefit you as far as airflow goes. At the same time, we do have 6 guy line points. And as you can see, this tent does not have a snow skirt. Focusing on the doors for this tent, again you have 2, one here and one on the other side. Each door has a storm flap that goes over the zipper. And each door can be rolled up and stored out of the way. Here you have one of the mesh panels. You have the panel itself, which can be rolled up, and here is the mesh. From the edge of the vestibule to the inner, you're looking at 86 inches. It is 86 inches wide and it is 73 inches tall. That is the living area portion of this tent. And here we have access to the inner. Taking a second to look at the tent inner, I want you all to pay close attention to how big this is. Here we have the door. This has one door, and as you can see, you could roll it up and stow it at the top. We have a huge opening here with a bathtub floor. We have countless pockets and also hooks. I am counting 3 hooks, 9 mesh pockets. As far as the measurements go, it is 91 inches wide, which is 7 feet 7 inches. It is 117 inches long, which is 9 feet 9 inches. It is 77 inches tall, which is 6 feet 5 inches. Something else that should be mentioned in regards to this tent inner is the fact that we have a ton of mesh here. So we have about 2 feet of fabric and the rest is mesh. That's going to allow this tent a number of things. Awesome ventilation, excellent condensation control. In the cooler months, this fabric here is going to help keep you warmer because you will be sleeping inside of this below the mesh line. That way, if you're camping in really windy conditions, you don't have to worry about feeling that cold breeze coming through the tent. Yes, you will have airflow up here, but you'll be sleeping down here. The setup process for the inner itself is fairly simple. You do have sleeves, they are color coded. You have 2 orange sleeves and this brown one here. The orange poles crisscross, and this one here, the brown pole, it goes across the top, which makes up this large opening here. Now that you all have seen this tent, let's go over some stats. The fly has 2 doors. The inner has 1. There are 2 ventilation panels and 2 vents. The tent is made from a 75D 210T polyester. You have aluminum poles and aluminum tent stakes. The waterproof rating is 3,000 millimeters. When the tent is stored, it measures 32 inches by 9 by 9 inches. The weight of this tent is 22 pounds. The retail price of this tent is $400, but at the time of filming, it is $320 on Amazon. I do not know how long that sale will last. As far as versions go, there are 2 of them. This is the 6-person. There's also a 4-person that is quite a bit smaller than this. It does not have the fancy living area like this tent does. Now, everyone, it's time to go over my thoughts and impressions concerning this tent so far. Do know that this is going into testing right now. As far as quality goes, everything about this tent looks good. There's no loose threads, the stitchwork looks good, all of the seam tape looks good. As far as the setup goes for this tent, on a scale from 0 to 10, 10 being the most complicated, this is a 5. There's not a whole lot to it. Everything here makes sense. At the same time, everything is color coded, so you shouldn't have any issues. Do know that there's one pole that's pre-bent. That goes at the front with the fly. Everything else is with the inner. Concerning the doors with this tent, on the fly and the tent inner, they are massive. This is a tent that's very easy to get into and out of. The tent inner is huge. It is the biggest tent inner I have ever seen. And this is what really impresses me. It's large enough for 6 people to sleep inside of it. Not only that, but you can actually stand up on the inside of that tent. It is super tall, or I should say, most people can. As long as you're 6 foot 5 inches, you can stand up inside of it. 2 questions that I have concerning this tent. Is it going to be waterproof? I suspect it is. I don't suspect any issues, but I will test that out. What I'm concerned about with this shelter here is airflow. Coming up soon, I will be testing this tent out to find out how good or how bad it performs as far as airflow goes and condensation. So stay tuned. Next, everyone, I want to discuss the versatility of this tent. And this is something that really excites me about this. The fact that it's designed for hybrid use, right? Summertime use, when it's really hot, you have all that mesh on the inner. When it gets cold, you can seal this up. You have the stove jack here. You can get your wood stove going. That's incredible. I really do like the fact and appreciate the fact that companies are thinking about taking their products and learning how to configure them so that you can use them in warm conditions as well as wintertime conditions. This is, without a doubt, a 4th season tent. You have guy line placements all over this tent. The fly goes down to the ground. Each of the poles are very, very thick and very sturdy. This should be a tent that holds up to at least strong winds very well. When it comes to snow loading, it will do an okay job. You can see here with this tent, there's nothing in the middle that would support snow loading. So that is something to consider. This is not the ultimate like winter storm tent, but for cold conditions, you certainly can make this work. That's what it was designed for. Overall, as far as the storage bag goes, the weight of this tent goes, the setup process, and the features, I'm really impressed with this tent. It really does have a lot going for it. Concerning the price, $400 full retail, that makes a lot of sense for a tent of this size. It is gigantic. This is a huge tent, folks. Then, of course, if you can find this tent on sale, that's even better. I'm curious, everyone. Comment down below, share your thoughts. What do you all think about the Kota 6-person tent? I am super excited to begin testing this out. My next adventure was going to be a backpacking trip, but I'm so curious about testing this out. I may forego that trip and do something with this instead. This really has captured my attention. In this episode, I have certainly said enough, so I'm going to say goodbye. Again, make sure to comment down below, share your thoughts. What do you all think about this tent? What do you all think about the size of this? Oh, by the way, let's measure how long this tent is. Let me grab my tape measure. We are looking at 217 inches long. The maximum width is roughly 110 inches wide. By the way, folks, I do want to mention this. There is a reason why I take a look at so many NatureHike products. This is a company that brings out tons and tons of products at a crazy pace. With the vast majority of their products, they turn out to be really, really good. They're also fairly inexpensive compared to the competition. And the simple truth is, There's nobody who is competing with this company as far as variety goes. Week after week, interesting products keep coming out. So when I see those products, I buy them, and here we are. It is that simple. The company does not sponsor the channel or anything like that. I don't care if you purchase this. That means nothing to me at all. NatureHike is a company that I've grown to like, but not everything's a hit. I have ripped them a new one time and time and time again for releasing subpar products. But that was really in the past. Over the last couple of years, it's been hit after hit, and the quality really has gotten good. When they first hit the US market, it was pretty bad as far as quality goes. Lots of loose threads. But over the years, they really have solved those issues. And they are a company that makes, frankly, really good gear that other companies will have a hard time competing with. So that is why I take a look at their products. If you found this episode useful or helpful, hit the thumbs up. I do appreciate it. That's a great way to support this channel. It really does help a lot. Take care, strength and honor. Bye for now.